Hello, my name is Cassie Young, and I'm a second-year MBA candidate and MBA fellow at the Center for Digital Strategies at the Tuck School of Business at Dartmouth College. Today, I'm pleased to welcome Doug Neal, Senior Vice President of Digital Marketing for Universal Pictures, who is joining us today as part of the Brit Technology Impact Series. Welcome back to Tuck, Doug, and thank you for being here.
Thanks.
Can you tell us how Universal Pictures is leveraging social technologies to increase customer engagement?
Universal Pictures is in the business of movies, and movies is as social as it gets. And when you think about what do you do on the weekends, you go to see a movie. Who are you going with? Your friends, your family. So what we're trying to do is leverage all the tools that are taking place online and are available now to make sure that conversation and that interest and that awareness is building as a result. So you'll see brand channels in YouTube, you'll see Facebook pages and Twitter handles and places to help facilitate that conversation. As we need to be where people are looking for information about the films and giving them the tools so that they can make wise decisions about actually finding our pictures and hopefully deciding to go see the film on Fridays.
How do you measure engagement with these social technologies? And can you comment on how this measurement approach differs from your more traditional campaigns?
You know, one of the great things about what the web and interactive marketing offers is that there is a true engagement measurement in the sense of if you put up a banner, you have a trailer displayed, people are going to click and you're going to be able to see views and streams and click-through rates and open rates. And that's something that traditional media doesn't have. Now, it's still early in terms of determining what does that mean in terms of how many clicks do you need to get to actually have a conversion. How many trailer streams need to be viewed before somebody says, I want to become an advocate for that film? But you start to get metrics over time, and we're seeing that we are starting to see some benchmarks and some goals for what we like to do when we actually do a campaign launch. So we have ways that we can measure against it. It's definitely still in the early stages, but it's improving.
Can you talk about what data your company is able to capture versus what it's actually able to use?
You know, a lot of what we capture is through what we're doing with our media campaigns and our ad campaigns because we are controlling that inventory. But we work with a lot of partners and sites that provide data back to us in terms of profile information and analysis relative to what they're seeing within their universe and their domain. And that's really important to us. Examples are the social networks like the Facebooks and the MySpaces, where they have profile information about people who are clicking on your pages or liking your pages. And you can start to see what kind of books they like, what's the music they like, what other movies they've liked. And that helps you define parameters to your campaign in terms of who you want to target and go after for just additional marketing.
Can you tell us about one Universal digital campaign that was particularly successful and what elements of that campaign execution made it so effective?
I think, you know, I'd hate to say that digital marketing was the only thing that drove a campaign because we are part of the overall picture. So there are a lot of facets to any marketing campaign. But Despicable Me was our big summer release. We had a very aggressive digital campaign targeting different audiences. So we had a kids campaign that we went after where we had partnerships with a lot of the kids' social network sites like the Neopets and the Poptropicas and made sure we had deep integrations and facilitated just conversations and interactions so that they were seeing information about the film and getting excited and building awareness. But then we also had a very aggressive moms targeted campaign. We went after the mom bloggers and had them socialize and evangelize for us. And then we created a lot of games and interactive features and downloadable content. And we did a few other custom pieces with some of the key advocates online that helped to just create awareness and buzz for the film.
Now, how do you predict the use of social technologies will further evolve for both Universal and beyond over the next year or so?
Well, I think mobile is definitely a growing space. We've seen the importance of that just in the past few years relative to smartphones and the proliferation and now looking at the Androids and the iPhones and now iPads and BlackBerry has always been around, but they're coming out with the BlackBerry tablet. There's just this portability and accessibility of information. There's also a shift in the way that consumers are comfortable in viewing information. When I look at myself and my parents' generation, you wanted big screens and TVs that were much larger so you could watch this video experience. The kids today, so to speak, are comfortable watching on a 2-inch iPod screen, and that's a shift in terms of how we're communicating and messaging and getting the word out about our films in particular, because we make movies for the big screen. It's like we need to adapt the way that we're promoting so that we can reach this audience that's actually getting their cues in a much smaller environment.
What do you feel are some best practices for customer engagement that apply across all industries?
Well, I think the big thing is always to be evolving. You can't just be static. When I look at just how the digital landscape has shifted over the past 5 years, what we were doing 5 years ago is very different than what we're doing today. So it's like you can never be complacent. So when we talk best practices, I think the best practices is to always be looking ahead, trying to think what's that next evolution going to be, and not getting comfortable in what you're currently doing. With that said, you always want to be optimizing and looking for the ways to bring more traffic to your site and coming up with clever creative campaigns and looking for some buzz-worthy types of marketing elements. But it's always just, you got to keep looking for what's that new innovation.
Well, Doug, on behalf of the Center for Digital Strategies at Tuck, I would like to thank you again for speaking with us today. I'm sure our listeners much appreciate your thoughts and insights. This has been Cassie Young for the Center for Digital Strategies at the Tuck School of Business.
Thanks.